Hi people and hello my Chili Garnish crew, it's Chili here from Live Listen Race. I'm doing a 5-minute review on Author and Punisher with their newest album, Nocturnal Birding. Now, Author and Punisher are very interesting as far as the music world is concerned. For a long time I have been petitioning them as, I guess, the counterparts to, say, 9 Inch Nails. And that is the quickest way you can really describe their music. Industrial kind of music, but much, much heavier, much more darker. But maybe with this new effort, that comparison is not quite right. And, it's come out, this album has come out at a very interesting time, because 9 Inch Nails has obviously released their new album, the soundtrack for the Tron movie. That's right, that Tron movie that absolutely bombed, and everyone is not watching that and not having a piece of it. So there is a very interesting void at the moment where fans are just not happy with Trent Reznor as far as him producing soundtrack music. They want him to go back and do his old kind of stuff. And there is just this void that is left. What are we going to do? Trent Reznor's not writing the music that we want. What are we going to listen to in the meantime? We can go back to listen to his old albums, of course, they're always there. But we want something new. And that is where Author and Punisher kind of fits this mold. It is quite, alike to 9 Inch Nails, like I said earlier, but not exactly. They are very different. They're apples and oranges as far as the comparisons go. It's, as far as what this effort is in particular, the newest album, which is not too different to his previous efforts. Now, I have discussed this band as well on my channel with their album Crueler, which came out in 2022, and what I regarded to be one of the best albums of that year. And of course, his song Drone Carrying Dread, I think, was one of my top 10 favorite songs of the year as well. Absolutely incredible. I have actually seen Author and Punisher live as well. They opened for Tool, and they are by far the loudest band I have ever seen, to the point that it felt like someone was sitting on top of my chest. It was just crushing, that noise. So goddamn loud. And if anyone who has seen Author and Punisher, I reckon they can attest to this, because they are just incredible. Now, another interesting aspect regarding, of course, Author and Punisher is that the musician himself he creates his own musical instruments. The guy's like a sound engineer, mechanical engineer, and electrical engineer. He's all these things combined, and he has made his own instrument. It's a really fascinating aspect regarding this musician. So everything that you're kind of hearing is pretty much custom made via this, instrument that he has made that is a one-of-a-kind thing. And he always just adds things, changes it up, does things a little bit differently. And this record here sees a new little paradigm, I guess, in regards to the previous efforts. It's a little bit different. It was a bit off-putting, actually, at first when I'm listening to it, thinking, this is Author and Punisher, but it's not at the same time. It's a little sidestep, it felt at first. It took a little bit to get warmed up to, but I have come around to it now, and I have to admit, this is a really solid album. By the numbers that I can see here on screen, I think that there has been a fair bit of traction, maybe a little bit slow compared to what I was expecting as far as the musician is concerned. But there is a really good record within this, and I think, once again, I know I hate to make this comparison, but if you're a 9 Inch Nails fan, you do have to go and check this guy out, because I think that the parallels are there. But you're going to find out that this guy is nothing like him, but it very much draws those parallels. So yes, he is industrial, but he's much more darker. He's much more heavier. And I think there is these elements that you're going to find very intriguing on hand here. The music here as well, I felt was a little bit more guitar-centric compared to the previous efforts, and it was quite an interesting mix, with guest appearances from musicians such as Kuntari, Megan Ostrostis, and Fange. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of those names. I probably didn't get any one of them right. But still, there is an interesting little mix here, because, this album, it's only 8 tracks. It's only 35 minutes in length, so you're going to have a really quick run-through of this. The question is, can you last that 35 minutes for this? Because, if you've never listened to Author and Punisher, the first hill you're going to struggle, or at least from my perspective, is trying to listen to an entire album. I found that when I was approaching Beastland. I was listening to that, and that is often regarded as his best record. I just couldn't listen to it all in one sitting. I've definitely changed my tune since then, but yeah, if you have never listened to this guy, maybe listen to a couple of tracks and see how you roll first. Still, that being said, this is one incredible hard-hitting record, and I think it hits like a sledgehammer, and I think you're gonna enjoy it. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 8.5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Meadowlark, Titmouse, and Titmice. Now, I'm not sure if that last track is supposed to be a carry-on, like part 1 and part 2. It certainly feels like it, and is an interesting way, I guess. You're talking about mouse and mice in the plural, so yes, clearly there is something there that connects these, but at the end of the day, one hell of a record. I've been waiting some time for Author and Punisher to release their new music, and I'm so happy it is now out there for everyone to enjoy. And like I said at the beginning of this review, it comes out at a very interesting time because, you know, 9 Inch Nails, once again, they only just released an album. I think it's fallen short of expectations, so maybe they're going to pick up the torch a little bit here and bring it into a new style of industrial music. Let's see some new blood within the field. Let's get this pumping. Anyway, if you've listened to this album, make sure to tell me below in the comment section what your favourite track was, and as always, stay spicy out there. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.